Right, learners, in question 11, I want to focus on the dividends. Now, in order to take that into account, we're going to have to look at the ordinary share capital account that you are required to draw up. So let's just have a look here. The information that you are given. You are told that they were registered with 500,000 shares. Remember, that's what they're allowed to sell. But at the start of the year, they had 300,000 shares worth that. And then on the 1st of January, a further 120,000 shares were issued. And on the 31st of May, the directors decided to repurchase 46,000 shares. Now, you will draw up the share capital account, and it's given to you here. So you had 300,000, you sold another 120,000, which brought in, and then you repurchased that. And there's a calculation to help you with the weighted average. Now, what I want to focus on is the date. Your year starts on the 1st of July. So we are, if we look at a timeline, we are working from the 1st of July to the 30th of June. Your shares or extra shares were issued on the 1st of January. That's when you sold some shares. And on the 31st of May, that you bought back those shares. Now, the interim dividend that they give you here, they said to you here in point 6, on the 31st of December, an interim dividend was 44 cents. So, obviously on the 31st of December, which occurs over here, we only had the initial amount of shares. This date is very, very important. So if we look here at the beginning, we only had 300,000 shares on the 31st of December. And so your interim dividend is going to be 300,000 times the 44 cents. However, the final dividend, they tell you, they say to you here that your final dividend was declared on the 30th of June at 70 cents. Now, if we go back to the share capital account over here, you have sold and you've repurchased during the year. And so by the end of the year, you've only got 374,000 shares. And those are the shares that are going to get the final dividend of 70 cents per share. Remember, this amount has only just been declared, so you would still owe it. And that's why in your balance sheet, and if you look up top here, in the balance sheet, you'd have your shareholders for dividends as well. Now, I want to just focus on this though. You had 44 cents at the beginning and you had 70 cents at the end, which is a total of 393,800. If they had to say to you, a shareholder owned 100,000 shares throughout the year. So in other words, right at the beginning of the year, right over here, he already owns some shares. You sold some extra, but he still owns his shares. You bought back, it didn't affect him, he still owns his shares. And they ask you how much dividends he got per share. Well, the answer is 44 cents plus 70 cents. You can't go and take that amount over there and divide by the number of shares, because that number there has got 300,000 included there and 374,000. And I know many of you get confused because there is a formula, there's a dividends per share, and you would take the 393 and divide it by the number of shares at the end of the year. You can only do that if the shares were 374,000 throughout the whole year. So it is a bit misleading when you just depend on a formula. So remember, if you have had shares change during the course of the year, that formula is not going to work out. You did not have the same amount of shares the whole year. And it's literally, just think about it logically, you owned the same shares. You got 44 cents halfway through the year, you got another 70 cents. So what did you get? You got 114 cents per share. So please just concentrate and see that you understand the difference with that. Or when you use this figure, but then the number of shares must have stayed the same for the whole year. Yes, you could buy and sell, but it would have to be on the first day or the last day of the year. Just concentrate and make sure you understand that, learners.